website anyway because it's not big enough. But I know that small things like the exhibitor, all those
the
can't
little
be,
modules.
the little modules can't be displayed. And I know it's not a case of you can have one of the old website and one of the new. You have to commit to which one you want. I'm just wondering, what are you going to do, Kelly, or what's the workaround?
I thought
I
you
really
can
like.
have the sponsors through. I haven't looked at the documentation nearly enough, obviously. Yeah.
Because I love the look of the new website. And I think also we found out statistics that most of the people who visit our website actually do it on a mobile device. So we have to put in code so that it looks better. Whereas I think with the new website, you won't have to do that code anymore.
No.
It will automatically display a
More
lot
responsive.
better.
Yep.
But I'm just wondering because obviously we launch like we've got a little dummy page at the moment, but we launch our new website in December, and I'm like, well, I don't want to spend all the time building it if I can't put in some of like just small things like the exhibitor module. So like when someone books their exhibitor booth, their logo and all that will automatically be on the website. Like I don't want to do.
I've never really trusted the exhibitor module because it just never displays the way I want it to. So we manually upload all sponsors. And by we, I mean I build the carcass of it, and our sponsor admin goes and adds the logos herself. So it's really no different to me at this stage. But yeah, I've already built half my website in the standard one because we're launching pages and things like that. And I'm away for a month in December when we're doing a lot of launching of pages. So I was like, I'll just get them done. So I'll probably have a play around with the new one for one of our like later next year events, which is a bit smaller, and then go and see for like and just stay on the old one for the current event that's live. So
yeah, and I think it's the same for us, like the speakers, because I know you can't put in the speaker module either, which we do the similar. We just highlight the keynotes on the website, and then it links into, because obviously we don't do the agenda on the website either, to the event info site, which then they can search for speakers.
So how do we know? How do we know if it's the new one or not?
What's the drop
it looks
down for design
it looks
style?
like you haven't refreshed yet.
Oh well, that's true. Well, that's always there. It feels like it doesn't matter how much I refresh. Let me try.
Yeah, because I'm wondering, because we've already actually obviously we've already got the event open, but I'm wondering now, can I even swap it to the new website? Because obviously we're already obviously taking speakers and things. We just haven't started taking registrations through yet.
Would it be in design?
Don't know. This looks very familiar, as in before. Let me see.
It doesn't. Maybe it hasn't actually, because it was launching today. Maybe it's actually not there yet.
It also could be it launches tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so. Because it sounds like we've got the two.
Yeah. And I don't think it's been announced when the modules will actually be added in. I don't think it was.
I thought they were in there because when we looked at the Sigma build, like the examples like ages ago with aircrafters, I thought it was pulling through. But I also don't read the documentation that in that much detail. So I could be wrong.
Trying to find it. So the email that came out. Okay, so you need to select the modern build option when creating your site.
Is that what I did?
Yeah. So only one website can be created per event. So I guess, does that mean that if you've currently got the old version, you would have to delete it and start again?
Mm. Yeah, which is I'm not super keen on, so. Yeah. At least for the one I've already built most of the way. Because you can't unpublish any website that you make live with events there. So like you couldn't even take it down and re-upload. I'm gonna guess it's gonna launch tonight.
Roll out, yeah, later.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
Okay.
it just says, plus coming soon, you'll be able to add event modules like speakers, exhibitors, and sponsors into your new website. So
Right.
that sounds like the agenda might be working.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
That's what I'm interested to see, is how that looks.
Oh, well, because what they had for aircraft is like it looked pretty, but it was just absolutely like unacceptable for a multi-stream conference. I don't know if you
Right.
remember that, Lisa, but I
Yeah, it
remember
didn't.
seeing that
It
and it was
didn't.
just
And I
like it
think
was a
that
nightmare.
I think there was a lot of us going, what does it look like for 10 to 12 concurrents?
And they're like,
Yeah.
that isn't a concurrent. I'm like, if I can't tell that, how the hell is anyone else gonna?
Yeah.
Yeah. But look, we do some smaller ones where we only have 2 concurrents. So I guess I'll be excited to use it for that. One less thing I have to do.
Mm.
So this is something I played around with. I was talking about it the end of last week. Was using AI not only to generate dummy content for a dummy event so that you can play around with a bunch of stuff, but also having it actually enter the data. So I told it's pretty geeky, but I did get essentially a ChatGPT version, which is it's called Codex, where I could say, here's the API documents about how it works. Here's the tokens, as in the access token, and then I want you to create an event based around The Simpsons, and I want all the I want you to create speakers and attendees, and so you can see like the first. There you go. The first attendees are all speakers, and so it went and generated all the content. So all of this, including contact bios and dietary information and everything. I said every field that you can fill in, just go and fill in, and as well as profile pictures. And then so I did that, and then added a bunch of attendees, but also presentations and sessions. So I said, I want you to create a workshop day. So these are all workshops, and then plenaries. Oh, so a function. So this is a function first. Set up a function as yoga. Putting in roles for who's facilitating, things like that. And actually, that's a reminder again. I'm always like, what's the difference? The difference between a function and a session. I always know you can't sell a session, right? So I get it. You can't sell a session, but you can sell a function. Great. but there are other little things that are annoyances, and one of those is roles. That you can't add a role to a function. So often what happens for us is that we end up doing both. We create a function and a session for all of our functions, so that the sessions appear the way that we want them, and that you have roles and things like that. But that's a bit of a constant thing. If you could just sell a session, it would be so much easier.
Are you talking about selling a session with a price?
Yeah, like sell a ticket to a session.
Yeah. I mean, because we sell masterclasses so that it's included and you only get like one masterclass per session. So we can do the inventory on that and set limits.
Yes.
But yeah, actually that's an interesting thing, because this is our first year. Next year we're going to do pre-conference workshops, and I hadn't thought about that, but I will have to set them up as functions because they will be a separate ticket.
You need to be able to sell them. Yeah.
Oh, that is something. Yeah. And sorry, I have heard you guys talk about that, but I haven't thought of it in that way, that, yeah, you would need to. And I think that, like, that's not an anomaly. I think a lot of events sell ticketed sessions.
100%. Yeah. Because they're add-ons, right? It's like, do you want the dinner? Do you want, do you want a special workshop? That's what happens to us. It's like, okay, sure, you want the full event, or maybe only, day one or day two, or you do all that shenanigans. But then it's like, yeah, I want the gala dinner. That's an extra whatever. And I want the, I want this workshop. I want these 4 workshops, and they're $50 each or whatever it is. So yeah, we end up just having sessions and functions, and we set them on different tracks, which is a bit messy, but anyway. So
I need time to play. Because I've got to start building this before we launch Early Bird, our new pre-conference sessions. And I guess that's the hard thing, is because I'm always very mindful of trying to build our registration page to not be like, I just want them to sign up, pay me some money, and off you go. But
yeah,
now when we're going to have to add pre-conference workshops in, it's an extra page. Yeah. But at least now has anyone played around with this abandoned cart?
Abandoned cart? No, not yet.
Not yet.
Oh, actually, I do have a smaller event online. I should actually go and test it out for that, because that would be great, because you do think, like, sometimes people, they get in a certain amount and then they don't want to keep continuing. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'm super happy with how this worked, because of being able to test, and I think there is it could be a cool little tool for people to be able to test the ideas of things with having real content in before you know what the content is. And so setting up like placeholder information, and then just kind of have it, and then be able to test a website, for example, before you know what the full agenda is. If you're able to just to have dummy data that's put in there, it was pretty cool to then just use natural language and say, no, make the yoga not a session, make it a function. And a minute later, all the functions, now the yoga sessions are all functions.
I
so
think
pretty
that definitely
cool
would be, because I know, like, when we go to plan out the conference program, we don't just go start building it straight away into events. You look, and that's where AI would be so good, because you look like, we usually look at our data from our past event, what sessions were popular, and you already have like a bit of a map of what sessions you want where. Is just, it would save you so much time just saying, okay, off you go.
You say that, but I spent like 2 days the other week building our program grid into Events Air, so that when I get to the allocation stage, I can just allocate the session. So it's one less thing I have to do in January when I've got 3 other things happening. So yeah, that was a fun task. building that in. So hopefully my program committee don't decide to make heaps of changes, because otherwise I have to be sad.
Yeah, it's interesting because we've got probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 clients that all use Excel, I mean, how many event planners actually do just run out of Excel until the final step of like, okay, now we've got to put it in. And I get it. It's just the flexibility of it, the ease of it. I mean, I was when I was in Amsterdam, I went to an event, saw it was 3,000 people, and it's a huge event. They were using Events Air, and I said, how are you doing all the program? And they just said Excel. It's like, wow, and so you're not entering all the data into EA at all. I was like, oh, I just use Excel.
Yeah. And I think
Amazing.
it's like, we're obviously very similar to Kelly, where we have like a volunteer program committee who, I'm not going to give them Events Air access.
Of
You don't
course.
want to spend time training them. So the easiest thing to do is to set up a template documents, and
it makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Anyway, I am thinking about little tools that could be really handy, because it actually makes me think about it's turned on a light bulb for me where I hadn't thought of kind of giving AI access to Events Air, because once it does, now you can do things like we have a thing where it makes sense for the larger event to duplicate the event in EA, right, from the previous year. Well, of course, now you've got all the old sessions sitting there, and depending on how big the event is, you're going through and you're deleting all those sessions, right? Well, I already had a script that would just go and delete all the sessions. But if you had essentially a little AI bot, you could just say delete all sessions, and it would just go through and do it, because it knows how to do it. And so some of those like manual tasks that we're constantly doing, but I also think we often have the import process where you might import a bunch of things. But if you had AI in the middle of that to say, interpret something, so that it can say pull the data from this. I mean, it would be able to read an Excel document with all the session names and just say, now go and update all the sessions to match these ones, that sort of stuff. So anyway,
it's really interesting. And I think, like, when I've spoken to Events Air about what they're doing for AI and that, I think they very much know that it's moving so fast.
it is.
And I think, what was their plan, Kelly? I think it's like a 6-month, or it's not like, there's no point doing like a 5-year plan, because the technology is moving so fast. So I think at least Events Air are looking at it like, okay, well, what are things that we can do now? But I think, anything that can save us all a lot of time would be amazing.
Yeah, in my mind, it's a 2.0 version of AI in the way that the way that I'm thinking. In that, previously it was about generating content and a lots of copy and paste, right? And now EA have done this step where, okay, instead of you copying and pasting, we're building in a thing that will generate some content for you, or reword it or whatever in any of the HTML sections, which is really cool. But I think of
used
that.
It.
You haven't used it yet. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that the advantage of that and AI with content creation like that is to make it more succinct, to actually create less content, not more, because that's the risk, is that you're just building out a whole bunch of just more and more paragraphs of content that you don't care about. But I do.
I think it's that whole, and that's why I'd love to play with it. It is, I think sometimes our marketing teams can get so fixed of this is the way we communicate, but, it's not looking at the accessibility, and, how different generations want to actually get the messaging. So I think it's a good, I'll probably try and play with it this week. Using that. Have you used it, Kelly, the AI in the merge docs?
Not yet. Probably will soon. I just haven't had really much that I'm building in communications at the moment. So soon.
Yeah. I do think that big shift now is getting it to do things for you. So which is what do they call agionic? Anyway, AI agents essentially that are doing tasks for you on other websites. And I think EA being one of those would be very, very interesting, particularly for those repetitive tasks. Like you've changed the color, the text color and background color on sessions. Right? You're going through and changing everyone. Why? Just type in, this is what I want every session to be, or every session type. If it's a workshop, make it this color. If it's a, whatever, then make it this color. Things like those repetitive tasks, I think, is really interesting. So that's where my head's at the moment. With some of these things, it's pretty exciting. So I think airtime will be interesting for that sort of thing. We've got a little presentation that we're doing as a case study of events, and so, but it'll be fun to see. I was thinking about if we should have like a little badge or something of like AirHeads, like you're an OG airhead, so you've got like a little badge, because we should get a few more people joining.
I would like a badge. Thank you.
You would like a badge.
Very much. Yes.
Okay.
Or a sticker. I'll take a sticker.
Yeah.
But Lisa, you can't say you want to be incognito. You get recorded every week.
Oh, okay.
We know you.
All right. Well, I think it's more, I like going to airtime. That's what it's called, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Is more to like network with other events people. Like, yes, it's good to see what the project plan is and whatever, but I must admit, the sessions where you get to interact with other people and how they're using it, because we know we all use it differently.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah. And I think they're taking that on board.
Yeah.
I think last year they tried to do it where they pitched it at different levels, but it didn't really kind of always work. Something that was advanced was actually more beginners. But, I think they're always listening to feedback.
Yeah.
And trying. But I look forward to seeing you guys in the flesh. And
yeah, it'll be fun.
It's been a while, actually, Kelly, since I've seen you in the flesh.
Has been.
Yeah.
I'll be there. Be good. I'm looking forward to it. Completely forgot I'd registered, quite honestly. And then I was like, oh shit, am I meant to be in Brisbane that same week? But no, it's thankfully I'm doing the event the week prior. I was like, oh, that was lucky.
No, but it's in Melbourne this year, Kelly. That's also
I know. That also drew me, but I'm looking forward to that. But no, I've got another event I'm running that's like very close to airtime. So I'll be up in Brisbane for that and then back for airtime. Thankfully. So excellent. I gotta head off and do some real job stuff.
I will have to go now too, but I'm looking forward to what Grant's doing now. Okay. What are you doing, Grant? Have you played with it much, Grant, or not?
No, not yet.
All right. Catch you both.
See you, Kelly.
See ya.
Bye.
I don't know if it has access. I'm going to push it hard.
But is it a prompt like you can say, ask me questions if you need, or is it?
It's a good question. Details.
Well, this is fun for everyone else watching. They can have a little demo. So you got to hope
think
this is going to read off your agenda.
I don't reckon it will. So there's a term around called AI slop, which is just like, generated just garbage. And that's the concern. This is all just, it's all just generic.
Very bulk, heavy word.
So I don't,
Okay. So it is just basically for the email itself. It's not actually looking at anything else in the platform. Yeah.
No. So it's a start. It's a start. Yeah. And so if you weren't using ChatGPT or something like it and just copying and pasting in or doing your work, like it's a slight shortcut to you doing it in there instead of cutting and pasting. Yeah, exactly.
But the only thing is you could get ChatGPT to look at your website with the agenda on it.
Yeah, I don't know
That's
that.
all right. We'll have a play around with that.
Interesting. I'll see if. And that's the sort of stuff that I've started doing more of, is saying, go look at this website and then summarize that and give me more details about that.
But just even like when you're planning it out, I mean, I think so many people think they just prompt AI to say, this is what I want you to do, instead of, always ask it like, please ask me questions.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's the best thing, because then it usually says like what prompt, which then makes what you get in the end so much better.
100%.
Good chat, Grant. Happy Monday.
Yeah. Thank you.
See you next time.
See you maybe next time. All right. Bye-bye.
See you. Bye.